Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Lorena Creole, and this, of course, is the Theme Park Therapy podcast where I get on here with myself and a couple of friends that they drop in, and we just talk theme park stuff. So I'm really glad that Alan is with me
Hey,
right now. How you doing?
good to be here. Yeah, I'm
Ah,
kind
well,
of rushed too. I just got off work as well, so
oh man.
my brain is all over the place.
I got you. I got you. It's like because I work at home, so it's like one part of the house, then to go to the other part of the house to like to the studio, and it's just like, okay, uh I need a little bit of a break, but this is the fun stuff to do. So I love being here. Of course, love having you here and liking the different background and the Kermit.
Yeah, yeah. I just repainted. If you remember, the room used to be pink,
Yeah.
and now it's back to white. And
Okay.
and then the Kermit there. That was back in the day. There was a company called Master Replicas, and they had the
Mhm.
Muppet license, and this is a Kermit photo puppet. So it was meant to be posable, taking pictures with it, and but
Wow.
there's a demise to that company. That's a very long story.
Uh, well, that Kermit is cool. That's really cool. I'm like, where can I get one of those?
Yeah, they don't make those anymore.
Dang it. Well, at least you got one, and I know you'll definitely take care of it. Well, folks, I see you guys just starting to roll in here, so I'm gonna welcome you all before we get started with our show. So, Alan Copeland, I see you there. See you there. Says hello, the Rain of Creole. Hello, and thank you for being a member. And it looks like there's a bunch of folks that just became members. So I do appreciate that. Or you re-upped either way. Thank you so much. Your memberships help support the channel, and it goes right back into the channel. So thank you. We've got Chef Nation here. Hello. It says good evening, beautiful people. Well, good evening to you. Say hi to little chef for me. Cute little dog that you have. And let's see, we have D Nice Gamer in the house who says, Hail the Reina Film Threat and chat. Well, yes,
Hey,
always glad to have somebody from the Film Threat crew here. And if you have not watched it, either rented it or bought it, you need to get Attack of the Doc.
absolutely. 10 out of 10.
100%. Yes, you have got to get that. I've been recommending it to all of my friends. Had the pleasure of interviewing Chris Gore about that. So that interview is going to air on my channel a little bit later this week. I'm telling you, if you remember Attack of the Show, or even if you did not and you just love nerd culture, you will thoroughly enjoy that documentary. So
Yeah.
definitely do check that out. Attack of the Doc. You can get it on Amazon, I believe on Vimeo, I believe on God, I can't remember all the ones.
It's yeah, Vimeo, Amazon, YouTube, um,
Yes.
YouTube, the video on demand on YouTube. I don't know what they call that, but yeah, I remember it was just basically news for geeks and nerds. Uh,
Yes.
I was so excited when Tech TV and G4 merged, and for several years, about 10 years, we had news just for us.
Yep. And it was at work. It was like, did you watch G4? Did you watch Attack of the Show? Did you watch that? Awesome. Awesome. That is one documentary I will say that I will keep watching over and over and over again for sure. And Alan's in it.
No, I'm not in it.
You're not in it?
My name's at the end.
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't have to be.
Okay. That's probably why I
Yeah.
qualified it. Is your name
No,
in it?
actually,
You're in it.
yeah, I was there basically to keep Chris's other business running, keep his other life.
Okay. I got
So,
you. I
yeah,
got you. I got you.
but
Good.
but I'm definitely there for moral support. I remember when he created a studio, so I helped him kind of get that together, and
Mhm.
then COVID hit, and that studio became obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling me about that. I'm like, oh.
I know it was a nice space too.
Man, I'll bet. Hey, Goof435 says G4 TV, much like E3 had its time, they were fun, but neither is needed
Yeah,
anymore. And actually, Chris Gore talks about that in the interview. So definitely keep your eye out for when that is gonna air. And my thumbnail guy is probably like, okay, yep, I'm working that thumbnail right now. He knows stuff before even
hmm,
before I need stuff. So, folks, I see you guys starting to come in here. Of course, this episode of Theme Park Therapy, we're going to be talking about those workers at the theme parks. You know, the cast members, the team members, the people who basically make your trip what it is with respect to the park. So with all the theme park news out there, kind of wanted to give the workers props because it seems like with all the, we'll say, especially Disney versus state of Florida, people just hear Disney and they're thinking about the executives in the C-suite, and they're not really thinking about the people who work in the parks, you know, every day, and they're not making executive type money, and they don't really get that much recognition. So we're going to talk about that on the show right here. But before we get started, hey, Anonymous, I want to talk a little bit about this hot news, and I'm glad Goofar 35 brought this up about the WGA strike. And Alan, I know you have some information about
yeah.
that.
I mean, I have some takes on it. It's day one, but yeah, this is going to go a while. Um, I was just listening to. I don't know if you're familiar with the Script Notes podcast, but
No, no.
it's John August and Craig Mazin. They're screenwriters. They're members of the Writers Guild, and Craig Mazin, he did Last of Us and Chernobyl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but so they've been talking specifically about the strike, and yeah, it's they from what they're saying is there's still a big gap between the Producers Guild and the writers, and essentially what the Producers Guild is doing is they put a pause on negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
They stepped to the table on May 10th with the Directors Guild, and they're going to start negotiating with them. So it looks like there's not going to be any real talks until after something significant happens with the Directors Guild, which means we're probably going to go a
Ah,
month, several weeks, unless a miracle happens. We're going to go several weeks before the writer's strike is where they're going to sit at the table once again.
yeah, because one of the things that when I think about the last writer's strike, it's 2023 is a lot different than
Hmm.
2007
Yeah,
was. And I'm not sure if they're really taking that into account with this strike. It's kind of like hard to determine
hmm,
what's going to happen, how this is going to end, but streaming is definitely an issue. So
yeah.
it's going to be
Well,
interesting.
yeah. I mean, from what they're talking about in terms of the main bullet points, I mean, writers have been getting screwed for a while in terms of they're required to work long hours. A lot of times they're required to do free work, like all these these pitches, these pilot scripts. A lot of
Hmm.
times they don't get paid for it, and then but at the same time they see all the money that the studios have been paying for television and film over the last several years, and now the studios have figured that they can't afford these high budgets anymore, and now the writers go on strike, and it's like, well, they don't have the money to pay the demands that they want, and so the system is broken, and it's gonna get it. I feel like it's going to go on for a while. The last strike took 3 months to resolve. It seems
Yeah.
like it's going to head in that direction as well.
Yeah, if I was a betting person, I would say it's definitely going to last longer than
Hmm.
the one from 2007, unfortunately. unfortunately.
Yeah.
Chef Nation, yeah, I know. I'm selfish thinking that too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah.
But
Do you remember? I think James Gunn 2 weeks ago showed a picture of the Superman Legacy script completed. You
hmm
know, you knew he was in a rush to get that one done.
he said, "Get that done, get that done." I know the one thing that hurt for me to find out is that Works has stopped with writing the final season of Cobra Kai
Mm,
because the writers strike. I'm like, dang it.
yeah, yeah. A
Uh,
lot of shows got ruined back in, was it 2007? I
yes,
remember
I remember.
Heroes was the big casualty of the writers' strike,
hmm
and there's just this big pause that's going to go on, and you know, it's like what's worth continuing under the new conditions, the new terms,
hmm
and so you may see your favorite shows kind of going by the wayside.
I wonder what this is going to mean for Disney Plus.
Yeah, I mean they just
Mm,
announced all these projects and now no one can write them.
yeah, yeah. I know some of y'all are like, "Yay!" But anyway,
Well, yeah, I think I mentioned to Paul Chato is you're going to see less bad content coming out.
yeah.
That's
I
the
mean, it's
upside.
it's like the writers that write, the really good stuff, yeah, they really should be compensated and taken
Mhm.
care of. I wholeheartedly believe that. The ones that aren't,
Mhm.
sort things out. Hey, Keck 44, good to see you. Good to see you.
I mean, I think you saw
And
that. I'm sorry. I like.
oh no, good, good.
I'll bring She-Hulk up as an example. It
Oh
was
God, yeah.
the writers were just not ready. A lot of them had
Mm-mm.
worked on things like Rick and Morty, but they weren't ready to show run. They didn't have, they just weren't ready to take on a full series. And I think what you may see with this strike is a lot of the bad writers who, they're just not they're not able to sustain life under
Mm-hmm.
strike conditions. And so you may see them fall by the wayside. While, veteran writers who are actually good, they're still living off of their residuals. And,
Yeah.
they may be the last one standing.
Yeah, and they may be the ones that get what I call the support in kind, so to speak.
Mhm.
Then when I worked out in LA, a lot of my friends tell me that, well, somebody hooked me up with this, hooked me up with this,
Yeah.
because their work spoke for itself.
Yeah.
So people were kind of like, we're gonna make sure, we take care of you. But it's also to keep in mind, and we'll get to our main subject in a little bit. Also keep in mind is all the people downstream from the writers. You've got like craft services, you've got hairdressers, you got makeup, you got
Hmm.
boom operators. That's the part most people don't see. So hopefully they'll get
Yeah.
this. Hopefully things will get resolved soon. But folks, it's going to be a long. It's going to be
Mhm.
a long haul. It's going to be a long haul. Thank you for that 99-cent super sticker, my dear. Of course, I know it is a diamond. You're such a diamond, my dear, and have an amazing channel over there doing a live gameplay of Jedi Survivor. So please do subscribe to Positive Fandom. You can also see her on the Burn Network along with myself for Ladies of the PGS. So thank you, my dear. And she has a question. She says, "Hi, Lorena, Alan, and chat. Do you think Chat GPT will play a role during the strike?"
Yeah. It's actually one of the bullet points of the negotiations. And the way they described it was, is AI, AI needs to be a tool for writers and not a replacement for writers.
Mm,
And that's the biggest concern, is that someone can take all your scripts, put in the algorithm, and then write a script that sounds like you. And the question there is, A, should you do it, and B, how much you get paid for licensing basically your style. And
hmm
that's definitely in the conversation at the moment.
yeah, I've been hearing about that as well too. Well, hopefully, all of this will get resolved soon. But folks, I wouldn't expect for it to be too soon. So We are going to go ahead with our main subject, of course. And dang it, I didn't mean to share it that way. I know I'm boomering it today. Oh my goodness. Let's see. No, it's not that one. Not that one. Yeah, it's that one. Okay. Did I do that right? Hope I did that right.
Yeah. Is this the one I think it is?
Yeah, actually I did. Wait, no. You guys didn't hear any sound, right?
No.
Daggone it.
Actually, I didn't see it
uh,
moving.
I'll get it. I'll get it, folks. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Dang on it. We're just going to do it this way. What the heck? Here we go. All right. So we're talking about those theme park workers that are there at the parks. We kind of just wanted to talk about some of them. But before I do, there's a couple of shorts that give you an idea of some of the things that some of the extras that the workers at theme parks will do for you. Like this is one that I like. You shut the park down. You're the last ones, coming out of the park because they're just like, yeah, we get to finally finally go home. But it's cool, It's like a little like kind of like that little bit of like extra, extra magic when you leave. So
I
there
feel like they've
is.
done that at Disneyland too.
Oh yeah?
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. But this was post COVID, right?
Um
I think that's
let me
why they're
see.
wearing the Mickey gloves.
I was about to hit one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was fairly recent. Yeah. Yeah, post COVID because some cast members will still wear masks. Like
Yeah.
it's, hey, if you want to wear one, have at it. But most of the cast members yeah, do not. So yeah, definitely post pandemic. And it looks like this is actually the maintenance staff
Mhm.
because they're all in white. So that was cool with I love it with the Mickey gloves. That's the other thing too. Where they have like the Mickey gloves. Sometimes at the exit of the park, they'll wave with the Mickey gloves. A couple of times I've seen them hold up the signs that'll say "See you real soon." Do they do that at Disneyland?
Oh, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been to Disneyland. In fact, it was before COVID. I think it's the
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
before COVID. Hey,
Hey, Winter Soldier, how you doing? Good to see you here. And Goofar35 says, been a long time since I did any park late night, but nighttime at theme or amusement parks is always fun. Yeah, it really is. It's one of my favorite times to go. I go in the morning, but I'm not really awake in the morning. But in the evening at theme parks, I love it, especially when the park empties out and you're the last ones coming out of the park. It's great. It's like a whole different park in the evening. Then I remember leaving Mission Space. We were the last ones to get on Mission Space, and then when we got out, all the cast members were like clapping as we were leaving, and my niece was like, "Why are they clapping?" I said, "It's because they can go home now."
yeah.
But it was the coolest thing. The little kids thought it was great. Absolutely thought it was great. So here's another one, which I thought was cool. The costume characters, or I'll say the cast members, they are they're really great. But when they see like the girls dressed up like the same way that they
Oh yeah.
are, it's like they just do it extra.
Oh yeah, there was one time I brought my daughter. She was probably 4 at the time, and she was in her Minnie Mouse dress, and we had just gotten into Disneyland. Got walked under the bridge into Main Street, walked past Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, and then out comes Minnie. She walks right up to my daughter, grabs her hand, and then pulls her to her meet and greet location. And so she got to be the first one to hang out with Minnie and got a picture. It was just Disney
Oh my
magic.
god.
Yeah. There's so many moments. There were days. There would be days where we would only go to Disneyland just to meet characters. And she was, we went there. Then we went all the way to Toontown to meet Mickey Mouse.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many times we sat in line at Tinkerbell's at the fairy land where the fairies were.
Yeah.
Always going there. And then the big one was, I think we waited. I'm sure we waited 2 hours to see Anna and Elsa at one point.
2
Yeah.
hours.
We waited an hour to get the fast pass. And then once we got the fast pass, it took us an hour to actually do the meet and greet.
Wow.
Yeah. We're talking the Frozen craze going on.
Oh, yeah, because the Frozen
Mm-hmm.
Frozen thing, I'm not gonna lie, that's one of my favorite things to do at Hollywood Studios is the Frozen sing-along. That is my jam. I love it. Absolutely, absolutely love it.
Oh, when we were painting the room here, we were watching Frozen.
I loved the movie
Mhm.
Frozen because one, it was based on Hans Christian Andersen tale, The Snow Queen, and I used to read that like a lot. So I saw Frozen. I'm like, this is fun. So it's such a cool. I love that movie. Frozen 2, not so much. But the first one, definitely, yeah. And the cast members, when they're dressed up as these characters, it's amazing how they interact with the
Yeah.
kids, and you know, they just they just go along with it, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun just to watch the kids get excited.
Yeah. I mean, even now, it's like I think Frozen and Encanto are her two favorites, and she's high school now.
Mhm.
I will
I
say
like Kanto.
one of the perks of my job is when Frozen 2 came out.
Mhm.
On Thanksgiving, they sent an invitation out to us critics and said, "Hey, on Thanksgiving, you guys want to come to the Disney Studios and watch Frozen 2?" And it was like, "Hell yeah,
Don't have to ask me twice.
yeah,
That is so cool.
yeah."
That's
I've
so
I've
cool.
done the I've had the privilege of seeing a few films at the Disney Studios, and they made it an event. I don't know if they still do, but they certainly did when we went.
Well, I know at Disney World, if you're lucky enough to luck out, you can get one of the tickets to, I guess, like the preview, like the night before the film
Mm,
actually opens up, and you get complimentary tickets, popcorn, and soda at
yeah,
the AMC. But they haven't done that since Wakanda Forever, and I've been watching. So here's another one. I've seen them do this
yeah,
at Epcot, and it's just fascinating.
yeah. I've seen them do it at Disneyland as well.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. That was just something I'd never thought of the custodial staff doing, but what a great addition, to the park, and the cast members that have the skills like this to go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
Good job. That's amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was over at the Magic Kingdom.
I know they give cast members a limited amount of rope to do something special. They can't go hog wild, but like I have a brother-in-law who works at Disneyland, and he speaks Japanese, um,
Mhm.
and he made business cards to give to the Japanese Japanese guests. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess business cards are a huge thing in Japan. And so
Oh,
they said, well, you really shouldn't do it, but we'll give you a little more rope there.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I know at Epcot, well, they finally brought the cultural representatives back to the
Mhm.
pavilions, but especially Mitsukoshi Department Store in the Japan Pavilion at Epcot is, first of all, super popular. I've been dropping money there ever since I was a kid, spending all their money in there. But one of the coolest things that we got to do there was I think I bought like a fan, and they, asked me, "Would you like your name written in Japanese?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I want that." I thought that was so cool of, the cast member to volunteer and do that. I just thought it was the coolest freaking thing like ever, ever. Hey CJ, how you doing? Was just talking about you earlier in a good way. In a good way. Did an interview with Chris Gore, so that's a thumbnail
Oh, okay.
request
Oh, you're a
incoming.
thumbnail guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going, I don't
Yeah.
know who that is.
Yep. Good seeing you, Boosh. So that's that one right there. And then, of course, we're going to talk about some of the team members over at Universal. I have to give this team member props because they're literally in the most boring attraction
Mhm.
at Universal, which is Fast and the Furious Supercharged. I mean, honestly, if you do this, just go to the pre-show and then just leave. I mean, honestly,
Annie's right there.
it's not worth staying there.
Jamie, the buses are here. Sounds good. You want me to take care of that? 'Cause, like, that's kind of what I'm getting paid for. Also, Dom's
I
calling.
got this, Jamie.
Hey, Rude.
Dom, what up?
Taj, just got a heads up from Hobbs. The FBI is about to raid your location.
I love how they get the
Man,
improv.
they always ruining our fun.
Literally.
It gets worse. They're leading Owen Shaw right to your door.
Wow, that is worse.
Shaw, that cockroach we beat down in Spain? What's he got to do with this?
Everything.
Nothing yet.
That's
Let's keep it that way. Get those people on those buses.
still safe.
You need to start bugging out right now.
I mean, it's a
And
push.
get that turbo truck ready.
Hey,
I'm sending Lindy there to pick it up.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
Why am I here then?
Hobbs needs to know. So, team,
Okay.
spread the word.
Tell everyone.
But keep it in our family.
Hey, tell no one.
And keep it quiet.
Not even yourself. My twin's calling.
It's hot.
Yeah. Venus is right there.
I love how they do that because
Oh.
it is this attraction is so boring when you get in, but the team member who just does the improv
Oh,
at
man.
that part is hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that's such a thankless job.
It really is. It's like the cast member who's at Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
It just looks like he'd rather be, somewhere else. And one time I got on there and he tells people, "Okay, well, make sure you have your seatbelts on." And people are like flipping out trying to find. He's like, "Just kidding. It gets boring in here a lot."
Well, I remember when they opened Innoventions at Disneyland over by the carousel. I had a lot of friends who were hired to do the presentations, and it's like, yeah, they have this long script they have to get through, and half of the audience there is just not into it and just wants to move on, but they're stuck until the presentation's over. And there's nothing like performing in front of a group of people who don't want to see you.
Yeah. Ouch. Oh man, that's not easy. Not easy. And now we get to my favorite team member over at Universal, and that actually would be Megatron. And yes, I took this video. Transformer characters, the team members are on these stilt like costumes and everything.
And in Florida.
Yes. Megatron's my favorite. I don't think he does that anymore because I'm trying to wait and see if he does it. But sometimes he'll just scare the crap out of the kids, and it's so funny. Dylan C says Carousel of Progress looks more interesting than this show. Then again, I'm a nerd that actually likes that show. Which show?
Is it a Fast and Furious one?
You say, oh, okay, yeah, Fast and Furious.
Non-action.
Yeah,
What is that
yeah.
like? I don't know. Wait, where does it go after the show? To some kind of like
It's
circle vision type of thing?
it's not even as interesting as Circle Vision. It's literally, how do we put this? Um, like say you took Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You take like this bus and you put it on a track and you go through these corridors with screens on both sides.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ah.
That is literally it.
Wow. And quite frankly, I think Universal Hollywood is a lot like that too. Most of the rides are, those theater rides with the motion seats.
Mm-hmm.
You have some limited dark rides like E.T. We still haven't seen Hogwarts yet, so I'm not sure what happens there.
Hogwarts, you are going to love it. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. You're literally, its faces outward when you sit in it. Like 4 people can sit in it.
Yeah.
You have this overhead restraint, and literally you're like suspended on this suspension, and it goes back, sideways, just it faces the action. Some are screens, some are practical sets. So it's like a great mixture of the two. So it is really great. Hagrid's is the coaster, which is cool too, literally straight out of the film. And then you have Escape from Gringotts, which looks exactly like Gringotts Bank in the movie. Like, I can't tell the difference every time I go in there. I can't tell the difference between that and what you see in the movies. The detail is just insane. And if you've played Hogwarts Legacy, the opening part to Hogwarts Legacy when they go to Gringotts, literally just like the ride at the park.
Yeah, we actually just started streaming that, so we're in the early stages of
yeah
Hogwarts. Yeah.
I love that. I remember when I had time to play games. I haven't been back to it in 3 weeks. Not because I don't want to, but I've just been so busy. Hey, PPC, how you doing? Says listening in on the drive home. Well, drive safe, my dear. Drive safe. Always good to hear from you. And Jillian N is here. He says, greetings, everyone. Great to see you all. Well, great to see you too as well, Jillian. So good to see you. So to kind of like pivot over this way, again, just talking about the Disney cast members. They do a lot. And of course, this was during this article was during the pandemic, but the cast members do a ton of work. They're like the first ones, that you meet. They're the ones that have the most impact on your vacation. And I know Alan said a couple of stories. Of course, I have some as well. I know one cast member. We were actually on the bus from like the Animal Kingdom Lodge trying to go to the Magic Kingdom. And my niece had on her Cinderella outfit and all this other stuff. So she gets on the bus, and all of a sudden we hear this announcement that reminds theme park guests to be on their best behavior. I'm like, why? What the heck are they talking about? It said, oh, because we have royalty on board. And they were talking about my niece.
Oh.
And she just thought that was so cool. We got off the bus. I said, thank you so much. That wasn't something that I expected to be done. So she still talks about that.
Yeah. Living in Orange County, half your friends have at one point worked at Disneyland. And it's you really appreciate what they do and what they bring to it and what they suffer through with guests with entitled guests, I should say. But you know, it builds character, and a lot of a lot of my friends who've done it, they've they just know how to treat people in public, and that's you know that's a plus. Maybe everyone should work at Disney at some point.
Everyone should work in a customer service position at
Mhm.
one point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I totally get you. One time I was at the Magic Kingdom, and you know how people like to get pictures taken, in
Hmm.
front of the park, right in front of the Walt Disney World Railroad and all that. So me and my family, we were waiting to get, pictures taken. And then, we finally get up to take pictures, and there's people walking, in front of us, just like, nothing, not like
Hmm.
walking and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And, the cast members politely trying to get people to not walk in front. And I'm like, "Excuse me, we're trying to take a picture here, and it's very rude that you're walking in front of the cast member trying to help us." And they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." The cast member's like, "Thank you very much for saying that." I'm like, "You are absolutely welcome. Let me know if you need me to hang around. I'll do that too." But it's just something else. I've seen people talk to cast members like, like they're their personal servants,
Yeah.
and just be unnecessarily, rude. And I've seen cast members, bend over backwards, especially sympathizing with some people
Hmm.
where, showing a lot of grace,
Yeah.
more than I ever could. And usually when that situation would arise, if I had like that cast member, like say as a server, usually I'd take more time,
Hmm.
talking to them, complimenting them, and my favorite, having them bring their manager over so I can tell them just how good
Yeah.
this cast member, you know, is.
Yeah. My dark little secret is for about 6 years, I had the premium pass at Disneyland, and so I was buying stuff at Disneyland and then selling it on eBay, and did that for like 6 years, and
Mhm.
and so I got to know the cast members who were, at every store that I went to, I got to know the cast members, and I realized, the best thing I could do is just be overly nice. Just be patient when there's long lines, when people are complaining,
Mhm.
and I think, right now they pretty much just shut that business down. I was able to get out of it before they really started going after people who were doing
Yeah,
what they were
the
doing.
limit you to 2 items.
Yeah. But the thing was is that, I think the reason I was able to do it for so long was because everyone recognized me and everyone knew I was the nice guy. And
Mhm.
and so they just
Yeah.
kind of like, we just chit chat. I did my business and then moved on. I didn't cause any problems, but I knew people who started to become popular who were doing what I was doing, just became rude, and just started taking advantage of the situation, and it just, yeah, and I knew it's just time to get out. Plus they started suspending passes for people who are doing that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's in the terms of service. I knew it was there when I bought the pass. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah,
I
because
had
they gave you
no
20% off.
idea.
You got 20% off. That's a huge discount. And
Yeah,
yeah.
because I've used that several times
Hmm.
to get this 50th anniversary Starbucks cup. I was like, $50. I'm not, oh, wait a minute. I'm a pass holder. 20% off. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that. I use this like every day.
Oh yeah.
But it's a sizable discount. Another time, I forget where were we? Yeah, I know where we were. We were waiting to get into Ohana at the Polynesian. That place is a darn zoo because so many people are trying to get there because they have the all you care to eat buffet or whatever.
Hmm.
and it was crazy. And I just cannot believe how rude some people were. So when we checked in, I'm asking the cast member how she is, how you doing? I know it's busy. You guys are doing a great job. And then I said, if at all possible, can I get a seat near the window for me and my nieces and my nephews, because they've never been to Disney before and we want to see the fireworks. So she's like, well, if you're, just patient a little bit, let me see what I can do. I was like, okay, no problem. I said, no, no pressure. If you can, you can. If you can't, don't worry about it at all. Well, we wound up getting a table literally in front of the window so we could see the fireworks from the park that night. And I remember because my nephew was so tired, he face planted on the table and missed the fireworks, and we gave him crap for it. But the cast members were just absolutely fabulous. And Theme Park Casual says opening day at Knott's Boysenberry Festival was rainy and cold. The team members saved the day and made the best of it. Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a weird winter this year. I mean, it still rains here. But this reminds me of my company used to send me to Disney World every other year for training on some software I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
And at this conference, they'd have keynote speaker. Like one year, we had the guy whose life was portrayed in Catch Me If You Can. But one year, it was the Disney Institute who was the keynote speaker, and they would just go through. They went through Disney's the way they train cast members, especially working with the public. And at one point during this presentation, they mentioned that that at that time they do such a good job training cast members that Universal would come in, offer them more money, and then steal all the recruits they had just trained. And reminds me, I think a lot of the Knott's employees are bleed overs from Disney.
Well, that's so cool that they saved the day. And yeah, a lot of those, when you're in like a small, call it ecosphere, so to speak, because of that talent pool, it's like you see people poaching, poaching workers from like one place to the other. So yeah, that's right. They know they have good training programs. So it's like, we don't have to train them; they already are. Come on over here.
Yeah, we usually find that at Knott's. Over at Magic Mountain, that's a whole different story. It's too far to steal from Disneyland.
Yeah. I've been to Magic Mountain.
Magic Mountain.
I would say Magic Mountain is the poster child for Six Flags, but I've been to Six Flags Great Adventure, so I think they actually win that title. Oh, it's some weirdness over there. Goofar35 said the cast members from the Pirates ride, when the ride was down, and did the imaginary boat ride. Yes, I showed this on my stream once. For some reason, Pirates of the Caribbean was not working in the morning at all. And the cast members were basically recreating the ride for guests. So they had like tape on the ground like a boat, and some of them, they got in, and when the cast member had like the script and was telling people what to say, it was funny. It sucked that the ride was down, but it was really cool and a lot of fun watching the cast members recreate the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
And they're not getting paid extra to do that.
No, they're really not. So it's just extra magic that the cast members do. And I know that Disney does not give the cast members really the recognition that they deserve, because there's so many things that Disney will screw up, especially Disney IT. And if it wasn't for a cast member trying to write that stuff, it'd be a big problem.
Yeah.
Huge problem. So That's cool. So you had Cruella with somebody dressed like Cruella. I've noticed a lot of the costume characters, if you're dressed like they are, they'll like come over right to you.
Mhm. They'll give you an extra bit of magic there.
Yes, an extra bit. Oh, and that's cool. That's the other thing that I want to bring up. It's interesting that they're talking about that this particular young lady has autism.
Mhm.
My niece and nephew are on the spectrum. They're twins,
Yeah.
and it's really heartwarming to see like how the cast members will interact with children that have special needs. It's really something else.
Mhm. It's amazing. There's
Yeah.
so much to train for.
It is. It is. It's a lot to train for, and it's like it really pays off. Because for some kids who are on the spectrum, there's certain characters that they're just fixated on,
Mhm.
and it's like they meet them, and it's like for some of them they can't stop talking. For some of them they kind of want to hold their hands. Like one little girl was like obsessed with Minnie Mouse. You could tell she was like on a spectrum, and she went up and she gave Minnie Mouse a hug and she held her hand, and Minnie just held her hand, and they just walked around and skipped
Oh,
around the whole area. She wasn't, in a rush or anything.
wow. Now that's above and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah. Really is. Hey, Amanda says, Hail, lovely Lorena, awesome Alan, and cheery chat. Well, hello, hello, and good to see you. Good to see you here, my dear. So yeah, there's so many cool things that the cast members do. Okay, yeah, there's Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, right out there in the plazas where they're well, a little bit outside the plaza, where they'll tape down the boat. And that was cool. Even cooler when Captain Jack Sparrow came by too, because he had a meet and greet, and he was wondering why they couldn't tape a replica of the Black Pearl for him, which was even funnier. So, some people are probably wondering how to recognize and thank cast members. And the same kind of goes for Universal, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you run across a cast member that you just want to thank and they've gone like above and beyond, take note. One, take note of their name. Two, take note of where it is that they were working. Because sometimes, if like me, I suck at names, but I'll remember what someone looks like and where they were working. And sometimes I'll ask you what time. Oh, okay. Well, we know who that is. Just giving them kudos. You can go to guest services and make a note of it. You can also, I believe, you can go online and also give props. But if you're on social media, you can also shout them out and tag in Disney parks as well. So those are some other ways that you can recognize and thank cast members. No tipping. I know some people try to do that. you can't.
Big
You
no
can't.
no.
Yeah, big no no. The one exception is mouse keeping, because I was always traveling, like, with a bunch of kids who make huge messes everywhere. We always had these, like, mouse keeping envelopes, so we would make them, and the kids would draw, like, Disney things on it, stickers, and say, "Thank you for cleaning," our hotel
Mhm.
room, and we'd put, like, cash in it, but it had to specifically say, "For mouse keeping" on it so that it wasn't, mistaken for, something that belonged to a guest, but you had to
Mhm.
explicitly say for mousekeeping. And they said, yeah, they can take it if you do that. So that's the only exception um, that I know of, because our mousekeeper, oh my god, this kids, oh my goodness, all the stuff, towels, stuff like that, refilling, everything. And we'd come back, our room was pristine, and all the kids like plushies and stuff that they bought, and even stuff that they came from home, they would be posed in, positions. One mousekeeper made like a boat out of towels and put all and put all the animals in the boat. It was really cool. So it was fun to do that and to give them
What
recognition.
about tour guides? Do you tip the tour guides?
I think, I don't know. I did at Universal when I did the VIP tour, but I don't know about at Disney World or Disneyland. Theme park casual may know.
Yeah.
Do you know theme park casual about tipping the tour guide, especially the VIP tour guides?
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure they get like a nice
Yeah.
hefty tip.
I'm trying to
One day I'll
remember.
be rich
I,
enough to do that.
yeah. I mean, I did do like the Keys of the Kingdom tour once
Mhm.
at Magic Kingdom, but I can't for the life of me remember if I tipped or not. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. I know I did when I did the VIP tour at Universal Studios Hollywood. I remember I did tip. He was actually really good. So that was probably the best tour worth the money I've ever gone on, because you get front of the line access, and then you get that express pass for the
You get
rest
the
of the.
tour.
Yeah, you get the tour. I was like, yeah, rock star. Yeah, that was definitely worth it. I'm hoping to do the Halloween Horror Nights haunted house tour.
Mhm.
So you go behind the scenes of the haunted houses and do it that way.
Yeah.
Sunny
They used
days.
to do-
Hello. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh yeah, I was just saying they used to do tours for annual pass holders. Like we
Oh.
did I did a Walt Disney's World's Fair tour, and they just
Mm,
walked us around to Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln and It's a Small World, and just talked about the experience or Walt Disney at the World's Fair and the history behind that.
hmm
Again, things they used to do for pass holders.
Oh man. Ugh. It's like,
I
come on
know,
now, pass holders.
the
No, we're
scumbags.
the diehards, and I guess we're just not the what do they call it? Unfavorable mix.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Theme Park Casual says, I would think tipping is okay, but not expected. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Because I know that if I had like a tour guide, which I thought went like above and beyond, I'd kind of
Mhm.
like to, give him something. Sunny Days says we always make sure to give cast compliments on the app, and I've called guest services once about the awesome job our maid did.
Mhm.
Oh, that's great. I forgot about the app. Thank you. Thank you. I keep always going to Twitter for that stuff because I know their social media team is monitoring usually
Yeah.
whatever intern is on duty. Universal tends to acknowledge those like really quick. So it's like
Mhm.
if you do hashtag, I know for Orlando, hashtag I think UOR fist bump, you'll usually get someone from the social media team that'll say, thank you for that fist bump. We'll let team members, management know. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
why I like to do
So
it on
much.
Twitter, but that's so cool. You can do it on the app
Yeah,
here.
so much easier. My wife would always make it a point. It's maybe every fifth trip to say something nice about a cast member at town hall or
hmm
guest services.
Yeah. Guest services is definitely like if you're not staying on property, because some people are probably like, oh, I'm not staying on property. What is man? Just go with the guest services
Mhm.
and
It's right there
ask.
when you leave.
Yep. Yep. Right there when you leave. Don't know where it is. Ask a cast member. And they'll show you. Dylan C says, I did the Magic Behind the Steams tour back in 2006. You get to tour the trains.
Oh wow.
I didn't even know about that. Oh, cool. That's a very cool one. And I see El Presidente in the chat throwing out the villages emoji straight out of the villages. if you're if you're a channel member, you get those emojis, including the blue turtle shell. Which Alan probably doesn't know the
I have
story.
no
So
clue.
I'll have to tell you that real quick. Yeah, because it's Mario related. Well, not really. So apparently there was a story we had on the Welcome to Florida show where someone was flying down I-95 near Daytona. Okay, hit a turtle. The turtle went airborne,
Oh,
bounced off of somebody's car, and then got stuck in someone's windshield.
oh,
But the turtle was okay.
oh, that's good.
So we forever named that the blue shell turtle. And we're like, what are they playing? Mario Kart? So that's where the blue shell turtle emoji comes from. Dave Cable says, even before Iger, Disney had quite the rep for how they treat their servants. I mean, cast members.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's wasn't really good. I know some people who said that, oh, we just want to move down to Florida and we just want to be Disney cast members. And some folks were just like, no, that was not for me. Like the hours, a lot of it, depending on your level, it isn't like 9 to 5. I know one person, their hours were like 11 to 6, like 11 at night
Yeah.
to 6 in the morning, because that's what that's what they needed for the parks. So yeah, it's not the best. The ones that have gotten treated the worst, I would say, and this is just because I've heard about it, is through like the college program. They're just like, yeah, we don't really make a lot.
Uh,
By the time we pay for rent, stuff like that. I was like, but don't you get extra hours at the park? They're like, no, we have to go the same hours as
yeah.
everybody else. So they're running from their shift to try to go to
Oh my gosh.
whatever park they want to try to go to. And they were just like, you're not making money on the college program. I mean,
I
you
know.
get
And
it
they,
on your resume, but
and they trick these college students into believing that it's a privilege and honor to be a part of the program.
yes. And my god brother was like, hell no, never again. And he was like raised on Disney like me. It's like he was like, okay, I want to get into the college program. That was the thing. I want to do the Disney college
Mhm.
program. I can't wait to do that. Everyone looks so happy. He was so miserable.
Yeah. I remember I was reading Michael Eisner's book back when he was the good CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about how he required his executive management to work in the park for a day and
Mm-hmm.
to really work in the park today, so they understood what it was like being a cast member. But now it feels like they do it as publicity opportunities, and to get their picture out there on social media to appear like they actually care about their cast members and can empathize with them.
It's like, well, y'all weren't empathizing with the cast members when you laid 30,000 of them off during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good look.
Yeah.
Not a good look at all. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, there was a shareholder proposal, I'll put it this way, from like a group of people like me who put up for a vote that the executive board should have representative from like the cast members, like someone who works in that line, who's familiar with the parks. Well, that got voted down by the majority shareholders, your institutional
Yeah.
shareholders, of course. But there was an importance that was recognized that you need to have people who actually work in the parks on your board, because you guys are tone deaf
Mhm.
about what's going on. But they didn't. No, they didn't want that.
Yeah. They're too busy counting their money to really be concerned about
Yeah,
that.
bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Goofar35 says Disney college program, come happy, live miserable, and disappointed. And disillusioned. Go on YouTube and look at the people who used to be cast members in the college
Oh yeah.
program.
Oh, there's the whole
That's
TikTok channels.
oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
I
that's the
do
one thing I've
YouTube.
always said was I would never work for Disney because I didn't want to lose the magic.
Yeah. And at one time I wanted to be an Imagineer. I really did.
Mhm.
And I was like, cool, this is what I want to do. And then started seeing what was going on with the company. And then saw how much they did not want to pay me and
Mhm.
said, nah, don't think so. Don't think so. Don't think so.
Yeah.
Hello, Woof Woof. Good to see you. Welcome to my chat. It says, what about guest services for lost and found? I lost my phone on 2 separate visits, and Disney find them and ship them to me. You know what? Lost and found is the most underrated yet most important for the cast members at Disney. And I'm ashamed of myself for not thinking about that. Probably because I lost stuff at Universal. So with Lost and Found, for some reason, I'm linked with Universal because Universal, I have to give props to their social media department because for some reason they couldn't figure out I lost my phone, but you had to use your phone to report something missing. And I'm like, how does that that makes zero sense. But anyway, I put something out on social media. Immediately I got an answer and they DM'd me and they were able to locate my phone. I'm local because they were going to actually ship it to me if, if I was
Yeah.
out of town. I'm like, no, I'm local. I can just go and pick it up. But yeah, but at Disney, at the Polynesian, uh, we left some stuff and we packed up and checked out, and we left some stuff behind. They called us, packed it up, sent it to us free of charge.
Mhm. Nice.
So that was really cool. Amanda Pizzolatto says, "Oh hey, real quick, Lorena, I work at a thrift store in Tyler, Texas, and guess what I put out and got sold yesterday? A DVD of Song of the South." Oh
They made
man.
DVDs of songs.
Uh they're out there.
Yeah.
They're
I
out
mean,
they're
they're
out there.
official DVDs or they bootlegs.
They might be bootleg, but it's
Okay.
the thrift store and it's probably like, well, we know it's going to get sold, but I will say at the conventions that's a great place to pick up a copy of Song of the
Mhm.
South. I'm just saying. Song of the South and the World War II cartoons from Disney. Just
Oh
saying.
my gosh.
Just saying. Yeah. Stuff
uh,
they don't want you to see.
oh, if you go to the Walt Disney Museum in San Francisco,
Hmm.
and you go into the World War II section, there's some stuff that can get Walt Disney canceled on display there.
Oh yeah. I remember watching one and I'm like, is anybody see the problem that I see with this?
Yeah. Oh, there's
Like,
there's a picture that some of the animators drew for our veterans who are out on the front, and I'm
mm-hmm.
like, oh boy, this is problematic. It's right there on display. I don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
anyone in trouble, so I'm like, I'll take a picture of it, but I'm not going to post it anywhere.
Yeah, it's just like this is locked down on let's just,
Yeah, yeah.
see what it is. Become a Disney Imagineer and end up working at Universal. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we got Islands of Adventure, here where the Velocicoaster is, and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
When you go to the Wizarding World, when you look in the shops, because Disney has tended to make their shops look like mall shops at the mall now, you go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, every shop is unique.
Mm-hmm.
And the theming is just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like what they used to do. That's why I like Memento Mori over at the Magic Kingdom, the one right in front of the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Theming is
I
still
just took
there.
my daughter to City Walk because we were seeing Mario there, the Mario movie. And I'm like, this is a lot more fun than Downtown Disney. And the stores, even the outsides of the stores look fun. And
Hmm.
for some reason I think there's fewer stores than I remember it being there a long time ago. But yeah, I mean I'd say City Walk is a lot more fun than Downtown Disney.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I'll go to Disney Springs. Well, they call it Disney Springs here. It used to be Downtown Disney. And it's nice. It's like a upscale, the expensive part of the mall. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I call it. Is what it's like, and it's frou frou and everything. City Walk, that's just nothing but a party and a good time.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, is Pleasure Island completely gone now? I mean, the
Yes,
last remnants of it.
yes, they nuked that.
Oh,
It
I
is
mean,
like the clubs are gone.
yeah.
I spent some quality club time
I
at
will
Pleasure
say,
Island.
whenever I visited Orlando, at least every other night I was at Pleasure Island.
That I remember going, and that place was fun when it was Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
Even the improv comedy club where they
Oh,
said no one under 18.
yeah. Well, I was at that club a lot.
Oh,
It's
that
probably
was
the best
fun.
improv show I've ever seen. Consistently good.
Yes. That one, there was always a lineup to get in.
Yeah.
And I remember when Disney used to do stuff like that, and
Yeah.
rides like Alien Encounter that made you relive the
Oh,
movie Alien and you loved it. Oh man, I love that. I love scaring people too.
oh man.
They're like, is this attraction scary? I'm like, yes.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
we used to go up to parents with kids and say, "This ride is scary. You do not want to bring your children into this ride." And then they don't believe you, and then they say you were right after.
Oh man.
There's
Oh,
this father with this cute little girl. I'm going, you do not want to go on this ride.
nah. And to think, Eisner thought it was too scary, so
I mean, this is the
they
greatest
changed
ride at
it.
Disney.
It totally freaking was. I'm like,
Oh,
this is great.
I mean, people are dying on this ride, on this attraction.
Oh, OC Giggin, hello. Says, hey, Raina, when does Super Nintendo World open in Florida? Well, Super Nintendo World, which is part of Epic Universe, is scheduled to open in Florida in 2025. However, considering how fast the construction is going on over there, and I pass by it at least once a week, um, it's going to be earlier than that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much earlier, but it's definitely going to be earlier than that. I mean, kind of like I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps someone said, "Hey, if you get this done earlier, we'll put a bonus on that construction bid." Okay. But it is cool. I've been able to see some of the tracks being put up for the
Mhm.
Donkey Kong coaster.
Oh man.
Some construction for Mario Kart attraction. There's a certain on Universal Boulevard. You can see the construction. I'm gonna have to take some video and pictures. There's also a on-site hotel that they have the outside concrete structure
Yeah.
already.
Like the Grand Californian.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like the same concept. The hotel basically will have its own entrance into the park, but that construction is going on. I mean, fast.
So is this a
It really
third
is.
park or is it part of
It
Islands of Adventure?
it is a third park. It is bigger than the studios and Islands of Adventure put together. It's huge and located literally across the street from the Orange County Convention Center.
Yeah.
It couldn't be any better placed than where it is, because I'd never driven down that far, because I don't usually go down that far past the convention center, but I did to kind of see where to see how big Epic Universe was. And I'm driving, I'm like, man, it's pretty big. And yeah, it is. And again, past all these hotels, all these shops. If you don't stay at the on-site Universal hotels or all these other like Hampton Inns, other ones that are right there, that is a major corridor for tourism. That whole area. Universal couldn't have picked a better spot. You go to the Orange County Convention Center for a convention, go right across the street to Epic Universe.
Oh man. One day. One day.
Yeah, one day, Alan. You gotta.
It's weird. It's like I'm more excited to go to Universal than I am to Disney at this point.
And I
I'll have to
never
wait
thought
2
that would
years.
happen.
Yeah.
And same for me. I'm just like, I used to be like, oh, I just want to go to go to Disney all the time, and I do. I go a lot, but Universal, I'm like, man, when's the next thing opening? Because they just keep opening up new stuff.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Just amazing. Well, folks, thank you so much for being here for the show today. Theme Park Therapy. Got some theme park talk. So glad Alan could join us. Alan Ng
pleasure to
of
be here.
Film Threat. Thank you. And please tell the folks where they can find you and what you have coming up.
Yeah, we have, you can find me at filmthreat.com. I do a lot of movie reviews along with our other writers. But social-wise, you could find me on Twitter at mypal and on Instagram at filmthreatalan. And then we're Film Threat on everything, on all the socials as well.
Okay, yeah.
And go rent and buy Attack of the Dog.
Yes, you must do that. I'm telling you, I'm going to keep talking about Attack of the Dog till you guys get sick of me, but you definitely have to check it out. So I'll have Alan's social media links in the description box, along with the link to Film Threat. So please do check that out. Please do go ahead and subscribe to your girl, Lorena Creole, as well. Thank you so much for being here, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye.